Good morning and welcome. You're with us here on Business Today, just after 9 a.m. and we're here to get you all the market opening action. First, let's take a look at what's making headlines in the corporate world this morning. D Street enters a new week on a weak footing. Last week, the Nifty fell nearly 650 points, closing in the red all 5 days. Analysts say the bear grip remains, with the 50-share index possibly dipping to 25,300 levels, even as U.S. markets touch new highs and Asian markets continue their upward trajectory. Earnings season enters crunch period, with IT bellwethers scheduled to announce their results today. Analysts are a little cautious about TCS but expect a strong performance from HCL Tech. Rupee weakness, geopolitical tensions and AI absorption are likely to reflect on the results. This will set the tone, of course, for the larger sector performance. Electronics and IT Minister Ashwini Vaishnav reach Washington, D.C. for the G7 Critical Minerals Meet. The high-level meeting, hosted by U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent, will focus on strengthening global supply chains for critical minerals and weakening China's vice grip on the crucial sector. China is reportedly not invited. The government tightens the noose further on cryptos and the digital asset market. Financial Intelligence Unit unveils tough new money laundering and KYC rules for cryptocurrency exchanges. Users have to take a live selfie with geotagging to verify their location. Verification of bank accounts, phone numbers, emails, and a secondary ID are all mandatory. Donald Trump starts a new war with his own central bank chief. Reports say Jerome Powell, chairman of the Fed Reserve, has been served with grand jury subpoenas from the Justice Department. He's being threatened with a criminal indictment over the Fed building renovation expenses. Powell hits back, says it's blowback for him not lowering interest rates as per Trump's wishes. In an unprecedented move, Chairman of the U.S. Federal Reserve, Jerome Powell, has released a video statement blaming U.S. President Donald Trump for threatening him with a criminal indictment. The subpoenas from the Justice Department follow a congressional testimony that Powell gave last summer on expenses incurred during renovations of the U.S. Federal Reserve building. The subpoenas were delivered to the Fed on Friday in what Powell called a pretext aimed at furthering pressure on him in a dispute with President Donald Trump over interest rates. Trump has been continuously pressuring and slamming Powell for not cutting rates more aggressively, calling him a numbskull and publicly calling for his removal from the post.
I have deep respect for the rule of law and for accountability in our democracy. No one, certainly not the chair of the Federal Reserve, is above the law. But this unprecedented action should be seen in the broader context of the administration's threats and ongoing pressure. This new threat is not about my testimony last June or about the renovation of the Federal Reserve buildings. It is not about Congress's oversight role. The Fed, through testimony and other public disclosures, made every effort to keep Congress informed about the renovation project. Those are pretexts. The threat of criminal charges is a consequence of the Federal Reserve setting interest rates based on our best assessment of what will serve the public, rather than following the preferences of the president. This is about whether the Fed will be able to continue to set interest rates based on evidence and economic conditions, or whether instead monetary policy will be directed by political pressure or intimidation.
All right, and of course, all the current geopolitical tensions are leading to accelerated safe haven buying, with breaking news on your screen and gold silver prices continuing to new records on that safe haven trend. Gold now crossing $4,600 on the COMEX. Silver is flirting with $84 on the back of those tensions that are escalating in Iran. MCX gold and silver both have opened incredibly strong. MCX gold has jumped 2,000 rupees to 1.4 lakhs, while MCX silver has surged 11,000 to 2.63 lakhs per kilo. Those are record prices that we're seeing. And remember, we've been tracking the build-up on the precious metals now for the last few weeks and months, but they continue to surprise on the upside, with new levels breached every day, and particularly now on the back of geopolitical tensions, rising uncertainty, increasing tensions, leading to further safe haven buying. Silver now flirting with $84. MCX gold opening incredibly strong, 1.4 lakhs on gold, and silver now at 2.63 lakhs per kilo. So those are phenomenal jumps in those prices. Let me welcome in our guest this morning, Shailendra Bhatnagar, of course, from the Business Today editorial team, and Vineet Bulinchkar, Head of Research at Ventura Securities. Gentlemen, good morning. And Shail, you're looking incredibly cheerful. It's Monday. We seem to be in the middle of a bear grip, but you're smiling, so that means there must be some silver lining.
Well, it's silver lining followed by gold, Abha. A very good morning to you and a very warm welcome to our dear friend Vineet. I was hoping for a bounce back after 4-5 days of successive selling on the Nifty. Well, that's not happened. It's settled flat as flat can be, 25,669, but with a tinge of red. But Nifty IT, you've marked out HCL Tech. So the IT stocks are looking good. Parts of pharma are doing well. So it's a completely defensive market. There has been a cool off in many sectors. So dips in metal stocks look good. And what's a little worrying is crude oil prices are about to rise in international markets. That will be another small nail which will be on the thorn on the side of the Indian market. So it's not looking good for the moment, Abha.
All right. Well, we're still, of course, maintaining our optimism and hoping it's a short-term blip. But Vineet, good morning. What's the index looking like to you? And while long-term trajectory may be intact, yes, there are lots of factors in the near term that are keeping the markets jittery.
I think people are just staying invested only into the precious metals markets, and there is no comfort on the side of the the equity markets as such. So I guess that we're going to see some selling play out continuously. The Trump deal and the postponement of the judgment means that further pressure will continue, and you could have Trump announce these further measures on India anytime now. So, people will be wary of that and would not be, getting any further encouragement from these markets to say as such. So, I think the trend will still be down to weak.
All right. So a little bit of a weak trend continued here and anticipated to continue here. Right now, we're heading into the opening now. Just ticks on your screen. So let's pull that up for you and where we're at this morning. How much of a cut are we likely to see? Just a touch of green actually on the index, 25691, 25684 as we speak. So heading towards 25,700, which is not too bad at all. Perhaps some amount of respite after, of course, a whole week of drubbing that we did see last week. But overall, continue to expect to just about hover at these levels. IT also just about flat as we count down to numbers today. And that, of course, will also set some amount of a tone for the oncoming earnings season, as well as a larger IT basket. The Nifty 50 now slipping into the red, so down just slightly, 20 odd points or so right now. Overall, auto also quiet today, so nothing much coming in there. Auto, banks, let's pull that up for you, oil and gas, and see where, if anywhere, are we seeing some amount of gains. A little bit on financials, SBI Life seeing a little bit of an uptick today. And we're also seeing metals, of course, continuing to hold tight. So Hindalco, for instance, Axis is up 0.2%. Trend seeing some recovery buying. We've actually got an outperformance trend coming in from Macquarie, so that one's running up there. We've got a buy call coming in on Lemon Tree from Investec, target price 187. Macquarie on financials is saying that they're expecting banks to post about a 15% earnings growth by FY27, so looking very positive. They've upgraded SBI and SBI Life. Perhaps that's why you're seeing some action across both those giants today. SBI, the target price 1,150 is what they've put, and SBI Life 2,360. So that's what they're looking at there. And they're also seeing PSU banks deliver pretty strong earnings as well, 13 to 14% ROE. That's what they're expecting. On the basis of that, I want to focus on financials, Vineet, a little bit further, because this earnings season, are you now expecting to see some amount of visibility from some of the key financial names that reflect the kind of growth that's anticipated or that we're currently reporting in the economy?
We continue to be positive on the banking sector at large and specifically on PSU banks. Because if you see the PSU banks, their valuations, their return ratios are very good. they are very well provided for, and the trend will continue to be up, so they will outperform this entire pack.
All right. Okay, we'll come back to some of those financial stocks in a moment. But breaking news on your screen: Reliance Industries has reportedly paused plans to make lithium-ion battery cells in India. Now, according to Bloomberg, the pause comes after RIL failed to secure Chinese technology. The company had been in discussions with the Chinese lithium-ion phosphate supplier, Xiamen Lithium Energy Storage Technology, to license cell tech. Now, according to the report, the talks have stalled after the Chinese company withdrew from the proposed partnership amid Beijing's curbs on overseas technology transfers in key sectors. The report adds that Reliance will now refocus on assembling battery energy storage systems for its own renewable power projects. That's big news coming in there for RIL, reporting on putting those plans on hold due to a failure to secure Chinese technology. And you can, of course, see the implied sort of causes there. The company had been in discussions with a Chinese firm to secure this cell tech, and according to reports from Bloomberg, the talks have stalled after the Chinese company withdrew. This is amid the kind of curbs that Beijing has put on overseas tech transfers in key sectors. The report adds that Reliance will now refocus on assembling battery energy storage systems for its own renewable power projects. So big news coming in on RIL. Let's take a look at the stock as well. Down today about 0.6% as we speak. A few hurdles of late for RIL. Vineet, coming to you on that. All news based, of course. Last week, we had the government claim, the tax claim, and they refuted that or said that there was nothing to those reports. Today, of course, we're seeing the China factor kick in.
I don't think that it will be too much negative on this stock as such, because I believe that we have substantial positives going out into the next few years. The Reliance has seen its capex taper of free cash flows are continuing, and the next leg of growth, which is the renewables or the energy space, is going to see a lot of bullish news coming out. So I am quite positive on this, and not unduly worried about this small setback.
All right, so not too concerned from an investment point of view on an RIL. Shell, 5 minutes into market opening, what else are you tracking?
Well, Abha, this weakness is spreading. The Nifty is now around 25,600. IT sector should have shown signs of an uptick, but that's not happened. 255 down. Maybe it'll perk up over the next 1 hour or so. Overall, just 637 stocks in the green versus 1,600 in the red. So you can well make out the pain in the market. Gains are fewer and far between, but metals all the way. Hind Copper 1% higher. Bombay Stock Exchange 2% higher. Hindustan Zinc 2.2% higher. From the PSU pack, Ireda is doing pretty well. Wari Energy 3% higher. IEX 1.1% higher. So few and far between, but specks of green on a blanket of red. Abha.
Specks of green indeed. I'm pulling up DMart. We're seeing some amount of action there on DMart. I think this is earnings driven. And I do want to pull up some of these earnings related counters, because the markets, as always, are rewarding a good story where they see one. So we've got some brokerage upgrades coming in, and of course earning Q3 net income is up 18% year on year. It's a beat on estimates, and the stock is reacting to that as well. A quick check on this one, Vineet, if you've been taking a look at it lately, or the larger retail story.
Very encouraging numbers, 18% growth, and there is no stopping this trend. But we continue to be bearish on the stock. Our view is purely valuation based, and we think that it's a little overvalued in our opinion. I would like to qualify this by saying that the stock has we outperformed our sell rating, so that is a qualifier.
Okay, would you apply the same logic to a trend as well?
We are seeing a lot of pressure coming trend, so we continue to be bearish out there also.
All right, so slightly bearish when it comes to some of these retail counters, both on the grocery as well as the fashion side at this point. primarily on the back of valuations. At least that's what's coming in from Vineet. What about IT, Vineet? Let's talk about that. Quiet this morning, but earnings, we're focusing on that. What are you hoping to hear from some of the heavyweights today?
I continue to remain circumspect on IT stocks. I know they've outperformed the market, but it's not been any great shakes. And we think that the impending blow-off that is happening in the US markets will continue. There's too much at risk, and we tend to stay away from IT stocks.
All right. So IT at this point also doesn't seem to be on the charts, or clear avoid from Vineet. Tejas Metals, let's just pull that up. Tejas Network, is down about 7% today. Let me just pull up the latest on that counter to see some amount of news trigger coming in for that one. And that's why we're actually seeing that kind of a downtick on Tejas. Net loss and revenue plunged 88%. So again, earnings, look, the market rewards things both ways. So net loss of 196 crores coming in on Tejas. I have to admit, Shell, that this is one that had probably been running up on, some amount of, positive bias in the market. But today, just a complete hammering as earnings disappoint.
Absolutely, Abha. It's a disappointment. You rightly put it. 385. Remember, we've seen this stock in 4 digits. 1100, 1200 is something that I remember. And it's a very, very sharp slide. This is a Tata company. And it's pain all the way. Tejas is not alone. Look at how BHEL is slipping 5% lower. You have Kirloskar Oil Engineering 3.6% down. And it's a 100-point downtick on the Nifty. And we haven't even had the first 10 minutes of trade. Bank Nifty down 200. And there is hardly an index which is in the green. All 19 that we track as far as the markets are concerned are now in the red. The advanced decline ratio worsens further. Only 430 shares in the green versus 1966 in the red. So it's pain on Monday morning.
It is pain, and I just want to highlight on Tejas that, they're continuing to talk about long-term outlook, talking about AI applications, driving traffic growth, expansion of 4G, new developments of 5G and so forth, investments in AI data centers, etc., and talking about traction for new products. But they are at the moment seeing a loss of almost 700 crores for Q3 and an 89% decline in revenue from operations currently. So that's what's driving the stock lower, despite multiple wins for private 5G deployments going forward. Right now, they're actually seeing an operational hit and so on the stock as well. Vineet, what are some of your top picks then in a market that's otherwise looking fairly bearish at the moment? We are entering peak earnings season. We're counting down to budget. Where are you looking for opportunity?
We are very bullish on mid-cap banking stocks. So we like your Yes Bank, which is turned around the corner, and we also like Paytm as a play. So these are two of the stocks that we are going out with, sticking our neck out.
All right, so those are Vineet's top picks coming in. Let's also turn to the much-awaited IPO. SEBI Chairman Tuhin Kantapande has said the regulator is at a very advanced stage of issuing an NOC for the NSE IPO, adding that it could come as early as this month. Listen in.
So, would you like to comment on the status of much-awaited NSE IPO and what stage of the approval it is, and lots of retail investors are more interest on this thing?
I think we are at very advanced stage of issuing the NOC for NSE IPO.
When can we expect?
Maybe within this month.
All right, that's a much sought after IPO, much eagerly anticipated, and we'll all be counting down to that. But we'll leave it there for now. Any closing comments, Shell, as we wind up for the morning show? We'll, of course, be back at 3 p.m. with all the action on market closing.
Well, I wish Abha had something positive to say, except for that cheery smile of yours. There's just nothing happening in the market. Even defensives are not doing well at all. Pharma and IT just not coming up. So maybe the first 1 hour will be little dull, and then we'll take it from then on.
All right, so do tune back in at 3 p.m. Vineet, Shell, thanks so much for joining us this morning. Markets not lending to too much cheer, but a lot of news triggers that we'll be watching out for later in the day. That's all from us for now. Thanks so much for watching.